Hello everybody and welcome to this special little update and voting video. But before I get to the update and voting part of the video, a few words on the current situation, because I know you have been waiting for a new episode for well over a week by now. But if you have been reading my updates here on my channel page or on my Twitter, you know that I had a bit of a speech impediment because I think I got stung by an insect in the lip and things became a little bit swollen, like the lip and part of the mouth and the tongue, since I am kind of allergic to insect bites. And it is getting better now. My mouth still feels a bit weird, but at least it doesn't feel like I have a ball of cotton wool stuck into my cheek anymore. So this video is sort of a test to see how it feels like if I talk for an extended period of time. But I hope that I will record an episode tomorrow, which would be Saturday. So there should be a new episode on Sunday. Knock on wood. But yeah, I would like to talk a little bit about my upcoming schedule, specifically about what game or games to play once I'm done with Greedfall, which I guess is not going to take that much longer. So I have picked one game that I will play after Greedfall, but after that I don't really have any clear favorites, so I would like to have another voting on, what games you would like to see. So I have been collecting suggestions. Specifically, I asked for, some suggestions a few weeks ago, and I have a list of suggestions that I get on, my comments every now and then. So I compiled a list of 10 games that you can choose from. I had a poll about 2 years ago, and a little fun fact, I had 12 games on that poll. And since then I have played 8 of them, plus sequels to some of them, like the Deus Ex sequel and the Tomb Raider sequel and various Assassin's Creed sequels. So I ended up playing most of the games of my previous poll, and I kind of expect the same to happen with this poll. So the voting is mostly about determining the order in which I will play them. But before I get to the actual voting part, let's just talk about the game that I have already picked to replace Greedfall. And I already kind of teased that it's going to be a sequel of a game that I played before. And a few people have been speculating what game it could be, and they basically were all wrong. They all picked sequels to games that I've played, but all the wrong ones. Because the game that I chose to replace Greedfall is going to be Dishonored 2. I really enjoyed the first Dishonored game, so I want to play the sequel as well. It's another medium-length game, so it's not exactly super short, but it is, for example, shorter than Greedfall, so it's not going to take that long to finish, and in a few months I will have to pick another game, and that's what the voting is supposed to be for. So yeah, let's have a look at the list of games. And I would like to say a few words on the games that are on the list, as well as on the games that are not on the list, because a few games that got suggested are not on the list for various reasons. For example, I didn't include any of the short games. And short is for me basically anything that has an average play time of 20 hours or fewer. Because for the shorter games I have different plans, since I need a bunch of shorter games that I want to play in between Assassin's Creed games. So basically the short games are on a separate list, and I will pick games from this list to fill up the breaks in between Assassin's Creed. And for your interest, the games on my short game list are The Longest Journey, Plague Tale Innocence, Detroit Become Human, Life is Strange 2, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and the Banner Saga. So some of these games you will see in the future in between Assassin's Creed games. Other games that are not on the poll are games that I already said I would play. For example, some people keep asking me for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yes, I will play that game. I just need to get there first, because there are a bunch of other Assassin's Creed games in between. I didn't include Cyberpunk 2077 because I'm pretty sure I'm going to play that at some point after it's released. I also didn't include any games that I already have played, specifically games that I played before making Let's Plays. That includes Skyrim and Knights of the Old Republic. These are games that I played already years ago, and since I want to focus on blind Let's Plays, I will probably not play them on my channel in the near future. So let's talk about the games that actually are on the list. So these are games that have been recommended at least several times over the past few months. They are in no particular order, so I just wrote them down as I saw them in my comments. And the first one is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the original. So this is a bit of an older game. Then again, I'm a bit older too, so I shouldn't be unfamiliar with this type of game. It would kind of fit my channel since it's like a classic RPG kind of game. And there is like a sequel coming out soonish, which I'm kind of interested in. So I guess it would make sense to play the original first. I'm guessing there's like mods and patches for it too to make it a bit more convenient for modern times. So I would rely on you to give me some advice on what kind of patches and mods to install here. But yeah, interesting game if you don't mind watching me play something that is a bit older. The next game, The Outer Worlds, which is another kind of RPG/action RPG game in a sci-fi setting. I don't really know much about it other than it's generally well received. So I'm putting it here if you want to see me play that. Then we have Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a game that gets requested on a pretty regular basis. And for the longest time, I kind of turned this down because it was console exclusive. And I do not have a PlayStation 4, nor do I have the proper hardware to capture gameplay from a console. And I always said, yeah, maybe at some point I will get that hardware and I will get a PS4. But then again, I still have so many games that are for PC and that I haven't played yet, that I always felt it doesn't really make sense to buy all the stuff just for 3 or 4 console exclusive games that I might be interested in. But now this game is available for PC, so it's actually a viable option now. However, the first game of the series, Red Dead Redemption 1, is not available for PC, so I can't play it first. I would have to start with a sequel in this case. But as long as this is not a problem for you, you can vote for this game. Then we have a Jade Empire, which is an older BioWare RPG that I haven't played yet. So again, would fit my channel pretty well. Then the next game is Yakuza 0, and this seems to be an obvious choice for me because, as some of you probably know, I studied Japanese at university, so this seems to be right up my alley. A little disclaimer about this game though, because as far as I can tell, this doesn't have an English audio track, just Japanese, which shouldn't be a problem for me, because I can understand Japanese, although I have to admit I've been getting rather rusty since I don't really use it that often anymore. But most of you will have to read subtitles, and a lot of them. So if this is not a problem for you, go ahead and vote for this. I'm sure it's going to be a fun game for me. But just so you know, it's not in English. Then we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not much to say here. It's a Tomb Raider game and it would finish off my playthrough of the reboot trilogy. And then we have Fallout New Vegas. Now, Fallout actually has been on my previous poll, and it has been like the highest voted game that I haven't played yet. It ended up somewhere in the lower middle part of the poll, but I didn't actually specify any Fallout game. I just said Fallout, like one game of the franchise, and I will pick one of the games later. So I decided, since, it was the highest ranking game on my previous poll that hasn't been played yet, I will put it in this poll again. but this time I will specify a game. And I picked New Vegas because, I don't know, it seems like a good place to start. So if you want to see me play a Fallout game, this is what you can vote for. Then we have Divinity Original Sin 2. Again, this was on my previous voting. It didn't actually do all that well. It ended up fairly low in the ranking. But I still get asked for it every now and then. So I decided, it deserves another chance. I'm going to put it into this poll again. Now the next game is a bit of a special choice again. It's Star Wars Fallen Order. Now, again, I'm putting a big disclaimer on this game because I am a very casual Star Wars viewer. I have seen the original trilogy way back when I was a kid, and a few times after that as well. I have seen the prequel trilogy. I have not watched any of the new movies yet. So my knowledge of Star Wars lore is fairly basic. I know the most important stuff, but that's about it. Still, if you want to see me play a Star Wars game, go ahead and vote for it. And finally, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, another PS4 exclusive that is coming to PC. It's not actually out yet for PC. So if you vote for this game, it will probably take a while until I actually play it, because I usually prefer not to buy a game when it's brand new, or in this case brand new on PC, because first of all, it will get cheaper after a while, and there may be bugs, for the port and stuff. So I prefer to wait a while and make sure that I get a finished product. So I put it on the poll because it gets requested a lot. But I will have to wait until it's out, and then I will wait at least a few months before I actually go ahead and buy it. But yeah, this is a list of games that you can choose from. And I hope there is something that you like. And just like in my previous voting, the voting is going to be multiple choice. So you can vote for as many games as you want. You don't have to pick one, you can pick any game that you would like to see me play. You can even vote for all of the games, which obviously would kind of defeat the purpose, since it's not going to give any of the game any kind of edge if you do that. But the idea of this poll is, just like the last time, not to pick like one winner, and that is a game that I will definitely play next, but just to give me an idea what is most popular and a guideline for me how to schedule the upcoming month. So there is a good chance that I will play maybe not all of the games on this list, but a lot of them, just like I did with my last poll. And if you want to speed up, a certain game and push it up in my schedule, then you should go ahead and vote for that game. And for the same reason, I'm not going to put a deadline on the poll. Just go ahead and vote whenever you like. Of course, you should probably vote before I finish Dishonored 2, because at that time I have to pick the next game in line. So basically, how the schedule is going to look like in the next few months. Greedfall will be replaced with Dishonored 2, and then I will pick, one game from this poll. And the other slot where I'm currently playing Rogue is kind of filled for the next few months, because I already said that after Rogue, I will play the final season of The Walking Dead, and then we're going to move on to the next Assassin's Creed game, which would be Unity. And then after Unity, I will pick a game from my short games list, the one that I think I'm most interested in. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So go ahead and cast your votes for the games that you are most interested in, and help me decide what to play in the upcoming months. And as I said, I hope that I will be able to record a full episode of Greedfall tomorrow. I think Greedfall is the next in line, which will upload on Sunday, and Assassin's Creed would then return on Monday. And thank you for your patience in this time where I couldn't record. And a few people have been asking, what's going on, and we're worried about you, and I appreciate it, but I'm fine. I just couldn't talk properly. So I hope I will be able to go back to my normal schedule this weekend. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say here. So go and vote, and you will hear from me again, hopefully tomorrow, with a proper episode. So as usual, thank you for watching, and see you again next time.